Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda if you're new, and today I have a fun bake with me with blueberry muffins and chocolate chip muffins and a fun Pampered Chef haul. If you enjoy videos like these, make sure to subscribe and join my YouTube family and give me a like if you enjoy this video. Now let's get to these chocolate chip muffins. So in this bowl I'm adding some flour and I'm going to add some sugar. I like to mix mine with brown sugar. I really like the flavor that brown sugar gets. So the recipe actually calls for regular sugar, but I used half brown, half regular sugar. And then you've got baking powder and salt that just went in there. You're just going to blend this up together and break up those brown sugar clumps if you end up using brown sugar. If not, you won't have to worry about that with regular sugar. And then get it all mixed together, and we're going to mix up our wet ingredients next. So I'm adding some milk in here. I'm also going to add an egg, lightly beaten, and then 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. Now the recipe didn't call for it, but I also decided to add some vanilla to it. So I didn't measure. You'll see me in a minute, just pour it in here. So you can definitely add that if you'd like. I had never made this recipe before, and I have to say this came together so easy. So I really, if you're looking for a homemade muffin recipe, this is a great one for sure. And we thought about even changing up the chocolate chips and adding other stuff next time too, so we might do something different. But it was so simple to make. I was really impressed with it. So once we've got these wet ingredients mixed together, we're just going to add those to our dry ingredients and mix that well. Of course, anytime you're dealing with muffins, you want to be careful not to over mix. So I always try not to mix it, just excessively. I'm actually using my new dough whisk. I have seen a couple of different people use those. So I wanted to get one, and I really like it. Like, I'm very impressed with how it works. So I've got my chocolate chips going in here. That's a full cup of chocolate chips. I thought it was a little heavy on the chocolate chips once these got done. I mean, they were delicious, don't get me wrong, but I think I could probably go with maybe a 3/4 cup of chocolate chips. But, it's really dependent upon personal preference, because everybody else in the house was like, well, we liked them like they were. So it's just whatever you'd like to do on that. But the recipe does call for a whole cup. And they said to use the mini chocolate chips. So that's what, or that they like to use those. And I feel like those did work really well. So I'm just scooping it into I went ahead and lined the muffin tin with the paper liners, and I always use a cookie scoop when I'm doing muffins and things like that. It just makes it so much easier. It makes it a little more uniform to where you can kind of try to get the same amount of batter in each. I still don't get it perfect, but I get it kind of close. So, and the recipe mentioned sprinkling a little bit of chocolate chips on top just to kind of make it look pretty. So I think that's a good idea. It kind of makes it look a little more appealing. And I don't know, but when you always see like bakery muffins and things like that, they always seem to look so good on the top. So I think a lot of times they do sprinkle the toppings like that. So I really thought this worked out well too. And those little chocolate chips are kind of cute anyways. This was a really fun recipe for kids. My kids, even though they're teenagers, they all enjoyed it and really liked them. So here they are done. We baked it in a 350-degree oven, and these actually bake pretty quick too, just 20 minutes. These were absolutely delicious. They almost taste like a cookie on the top. I did actually bake it for 24 minutes, so keep that in mind. You might have to adjust the time a little bit, but we really love these, so I highly recommend it. So next we have the blueberry muffins. So in this bowl, I've got like a strainer that I'm using kind of as a sifter because I don't have like a hand sifter. And I'm going to add the flour, the baking powder, salt, and nutmeg, and kind of sift that through to get it, all incorporated. I feel like I probably could have whisked it too, but I just went ahead and followed the, instead of doing this, but I went ahead and just followed the recipe just since it said to do that. And once I get that done, I'm actually going to move to my stand mixer. In my mixer, I'm going to cream the butter and sugar together. So of course you want to try to get your butter out to room temperature. I actually softened mine in the microwave, so if you kind of forgot to do that before a recipe, you can always do that in the microwave. Just be careful, because I have occasionally let it go a little too long and had liquid butter instead of softened butter. So always watch it very carefully. So once you get these in here, you're actually just going to cream it, and that you know, you're going to beat it till it's light and fluffy. It's going to be about 3 minutes is what the recipe said to do that for. And of course, just make sure you scrape it down as you see fit to, you know, get those clumps that might get stuck on the side, get those all mixed in as well. And every now and then you'll get a piece on the mixer that, you know, on the little paddle that kind of ends up needing to be mixed a little better too. So just kind of keep an eye on that, make sure everything gets incorporated really well. And then once this does get done for those 3 minutes, we're actually going to add the eggs one at a time, and you're just going to let those mix in well after each addition of each egg there. So I'm curious, do y'all make a lot of homemade muffins? If you do, what kind of muffins do you make? Do you have a favorite recipe that you use? It's actually been a while since I've made homemade muffins. I tend to just a lot of times grab a box or like those bags that you can just add milk to. So this was really fun to try these new recipes and find some that, you know, something that we really like, and especially that chocolate chip one, we really liked that one a lot. This one was a little more work, so I think I want to find a simple recipe for blueberry muffins. So I'd be curious if y'all have a great blueberry muffin recipe you want to share. So in this bowl, I've also added some vanilla. We're going to incorporate that well as well. And once that gets blended in, we're actually going to stop the mixer for a little bit and get started on our milk sour cream mixture. So I've got a cup of sour cream going in here, and we're just going to whisk that together with the milk, and it's a half a cup of milk. Once we get that all mixed together, we're going to alternate between the flour and this milk mixture until we get all that incorporated and get it all ready to add our blueberries. So making these muffins actually reminded me of a caramel apple bread that I made a few years ago, or several years ago, I think actually. It is so amazing. So I would have made it, except for I actually ended up not having butterscotch chips. And so I thought, well, I will have to do that for a later video because that bread is so good. And actually make it as a loaf bread instead of like in muffins. But I think I did make it as muffins one time as well. But it's so good. So I will definitely share that with y'all soon because I am now craving it after thinking about it, after making these muffins. So now once this all gets incorporated well, and we've gotten all the flour and all the sour cream milk mixture done together, that's when we're actually going to fold in our blueberries. Make sure anytime you're using fruit that you do fold it in, and try not to break the berries if you can. I'm using frozen berries. Now they did sit out while I was actually doing these other, you know, parts of the recipe, so they probably started to soften just a little, and I had some blue streaking and stuff like that, which I don't mind. But you actually just, you know, dust those with flour and then put them in that mixture and then stir them up the best you can without, you know, trying not to break them, and get them all good and mixed and everything. Again, that dough whisk really came in handy. I was really impressed with it. It really seems to move through the dough much better than like a spatula or something like that. I don't have any wooden spoons or anything like that either, so those usually, I know a lot of people use those as well. So I'm again just using my cookie scoop, and I'm just putting the muffin mix into each of these paper liners. I feel like the paper liners help so much in cleanup. Obviously you don't have to do that. You could grease the tins and just use the tins. Some people even have the silicone cups, so just whatever you use and have on hand is great. This recipe actually said it made a dozen muffins, but I ended up getting, I believe it was like 22, so I actually had to get another pan ready, and those last two I had to take those paper liners out because I was out of enough mix to make any more muffins at that point. So this does make more than the recipe said. I'm not sure, you know, if I did something different, but I followed the recipe and that's what I ended up getting. So and my blueberries, those were frozen, like I said, and they were quite big, so maybe that kind of helped. But we really loved blueberry muffins. These were very delicious. Like I said, they were quite a bit of work, so I will warn you on that. Make sure you read the recipe all the way through. I didn't do that. That's very important. I just think muffins are just a fun thing to make anyways. And they're so great to have on hand for snacks, for breakfast, you know, especially if it's on the go and you need something out the door. And you can prep them ahead of time, freeze them, thaw them before the next day, or in the microwave, or however you'd like to do it. And they're just very useful. Hey everyone, so I hope you've enjoyed those muffin recipes. Those are really fun to make. I haven't made like homemade muffins in forever, so those are really fun to try some new recipes. I also wanted to show y'all my apron. My mother-in-law actually made this for me, or had it made for me, and I was so excited. It's like the most awesome apron ever, so I was really excited to get that. So thank you to her again. And I want to show you my Pampered Chef haul. So in a previous Pampered Chef haul, I actually mentioned I used to sell Pampered Chef. Well, my previous director actually ran a half off sale, and you know, I can't resist a sale. So I went ahead and picked up a few things while she had that sale going on. So I'm going to share those with you. Also want to tell you about my video coming up on Friday. It's part of a cookbook collab, and I'm going to be doing like a what's for dinner. But it's all recipes from cookbooks. It's 3 cookbooks I'm using. So I'm really excited to share those with y'all. Really good, healthy recipes. So definitely great recipes to start the new year with. But let's go ahead and get into this haul, and I'll show you what all I got. Okay guys, so here's my haul. I've got, you might, if you watched that previous video, you'll actually have seen a couple of these things before. So like these paring knives, I love these. I had used them after that first haul and absolutely loved them, so I wanted to get some more of those for half off. And then I've got the jar opener. We've had a couple jars lately that have given us trouble, so I thought that might be handy. I love the color of this, so I went ahead and got one of the mini serving spatulas again. Also got this large groove, like the grooved cutting board, and I love their cutting boards. They just seem to be very high quality, so that was a good time to pick up the large one. And then I've got, all these are the same back here. On this side it's 6 of the same, 6 of the same over here. Also tried this bell pepper herb. I'm going to try that one. I haven't done that one before. This is one of my favorites, the rosemary herb, and then the all-purpose dill. So I use the rosemary herb for like turkey for Thanksgiving, and anytime I make turkey actually, but I bet it would also be really good with chicken and stuff like that. The all-purpose dill I tend to use like in chicken salad and things like that, but they're absolutely delicious, so I thought I'd stock up. Then I've got a juicer here. I thought that would be handy. I actually don't have one of these. I do have the little handheld, you know, squeeze one, but I thought this would be good to have too. I love these measuring cups, and this is the 1 cup size, so I actually use this one a lot, and this will make me have 2 of them, so I'm really glad to have another one of those. Also got another Pampered Chef pie shield. Now I have one already, but like if I'm doing 2 quiches or 2 pies at one time, this is very handy to have a second one. And then this was actually my free item, and it's a measure, mix, and pour, so it looked really neat. You just pop up the lid like that and pour whatever you've got in there. So you can, there's even salad dressing recipes on the side. There's, you know, measuring. So it's really great, handy. So definitely recommend these spices. I've tried those. Some of this stuff I haven't tried yet, but I always love Pampered Chef products. They're always really great. So this is my haul. I hope you've enjoyed it. So I hope y'all have enjoyed this video. If you have, I would appreciate if you give me a like. Make sure you hit subscribe if you don't want to miss out on any more yummy recipes or fun little hauls like this. And make sure to hit that notification bell so you'll be notified every time I post as well. I'd love to have you as part of my YouTube family. I'll see you in the next one. I hope you have a blessed day. Thanks.